Hey, welcome back to Jeff Stimson's Poker Vlog. Got off to a hot start in 2020. Hoping to keep that rolling. A couple sessions that we're going to go over in this video. As always, thanks for joining me. Be sure to like and subscribe. We're in February here, and going to follow up our hot start to 2020 vlog. See if we can continue it going. Got a short session that we did over at Red Rock. Had us a session over at the Wynn. And ready for our next vlog. I don't have any footage. We were down in we sat down in seat 5. Not the greatest position for roll a camera in when you got people to your right, to your left, that kind of close together. It's just not ideal. Anyway, but interesting few rounds there. Seemed fitting to me to do hand histories today at a baseball field. After all, it is spring training. Beautiful outside. Why not do hand histories from a baseball field today? All right, well, we start the session off pretty good, pretty standard. Early, we're in under the gun +2. Look down at pocket sixes. I just go ahead and limp here. We're just getting the game started, kind of see what the table's all about. Easily could raise here. Yeah, nonetheless, we limp, and we get one more caller middle position. Small blind comes along, big blind comes along, and we're off to a flop of 2-3-5 with 2 hearts. Both the blinds check. We go ahead and put a bet out of $6. Middle position player calls. Both the blinds fold. Turn is a jack. I bet $15, and he makes the call. We're off to a river, which is a king. I continue to bet. Put out a bet of $25. He thinks for a little bit. Actually picks up his cards to fold, and then decides on a call. And we take it down with pocket sixes. And we're off to a good start here. Pocket sixes hold up and bring in a nice little pot. Okay, this next hand, we're in the small blind. Under the gun +1. Opens raise with $15. So yeah, we're in a 1-2 game, and the open raise is $15. He gets a caller, folds around to me in the small blind. We look down at pocket kings. We go and make a raise up to $75, and the initial raiser makes the call, and the other player folds. Now the original raiser only has about 120 behind. So we're off to a flop of King 8-6 rainbow. This really doesn't help, I don't believe, his range at all. We like to check, hoping that he'll catch an ace. I'm assuming he has some kind of ace-queen type suited hand here, or like pocket queens, that kind of action pre-flop. So we go ahead and check here, hoping either he will bet out, bluff his last 120, or let him catch the ace, let him catch up. He checks behind. The turn is a good card. It's another 8, so now we've filled up, and we check again. And he again checks behind. So the river is our last chance to try to get some money from him. The river card is at 3, and we go ahead and put them all in. Bet about 120, and it has him covered. And he makes the call pretty quickly there. We show our kings full, and he mucks his card. We're adding to our stack, and hoping to do more from there. Well, we're still sitting in the seat 5, so we've been unable to film still at this point. We have the seat change button in front of us, and we're hoping we can move off to the end there, where it'll be a little easier to record. Nonetheless, next hand. New player just sat down under the gun, raises it to $7. Under the gun +2 makes a raise to $25. Player to his left immediately makes the call, and we look down at pocket aces. Definitely going to need to size up a little bit here and narrow the field. We go ahead and raise to $115. The original raiser folds. The 3-better to $25 also folds, and the caller goes all in. He only has 80 total, so our $115 bet has him covered. I just immediately go ahead and turn over the pocket aces, and we're off to a flop of Queen Jack 4, followed by a king, followed by an ace on the river, which I'm not particularly pleased about. He doesn't immediately turn over his hand, so I look at him, I'm like, "You have the 10, don't you?" And he goes, "Yeah," and turns it over. So nails the straight. Can't be mad there. Interesting call. He actually had a king 10 offsuit. So interesting that he would go ahead and go all in with his king 10. Dumbass. I guess he just decided to draw a line in the sand. That he was going to go ahead and play this hand right now. So worked out for him. He doubled up, and yeah, aces get cracked. Off to the next hand. After that hand, we just were not getting anything. We went through just a whole slew of hands where we weren't able to raise, as seen here. So a little while later, we're sitting in a small blind. It limps all the way around. We looked at pocket deuces. Wow, I have a pair. Initial thought is I need to raise, but I'm in the small blind. There's 4 limpers to this pot, plus the big blind still. So we just continue the action, and the big blind checks. The flop is deuce 9-9. Fantastic flop with 5 of the people in the pot. I go ahead and check, and it checks all the way through. The turn is a 10, so I go ahead and check again, and it checks through once again. The river is a king, so that's a little bit worrisome that I probably slow played this a little too much. I go ahead and check. Big blind makes a bet of $6, which is a very small bet. There's not a whole lot out there, so that feels like he probably has one of the 9s. One of the middle position players raises to 25. I'm not going to raise here because I was feeling like a king 9 was a possibility here, so I just make a flat call of $25. The big blind goes all in for 130, and the middle position player goes in the tank for quite a while before making a fold. And you know what? I just go ahead and fold. I fold face up, a flopped full house, feeling like I really let this one get out of hand. And the big blind shows his hand, 9 deuce. The player who tanked for a while had ace 9. So, wow. Yeah. I don't know though, raising from the small blind, pocket deuces with 4 or 5 limpers just doesn't seem like best play. It would have worked, obviously. Ace 9 probably would have called, and we got his stack. 9 deuce probably is out of there. But yeah, I don't really regret not raising with pocket deuces in the small blind there. So, but yeah, so it's gotten interesting, and the stack started to dwindle a little bit. The flames to the hot start have begun to dim. Was that going to get me down? Definitely makes you think. Was I going to be detoured? I don't know. Am I still smiling? Of course. Now what? Gonna have to bounce back. What are we gonna do now? No doubt in my mind. We got this. So the next hand, still haven't got my seat changed. So I actually went up and asked for a table change at this point in time. Okay, next hand, there's 2 limpers to us. We looked down at pocket 7s. 2 limpers? 3 limpers. There's 3 limpers. We go ahead and make a raise up to $12. Player to my left calls, folds all the way around, and the player to my right also makes the call after limping previously. Flop comes out Queen Jack 7 with 2 hearts. The original limper leads out for $15. I quickly make the call, as does the person to my left. So at this point, the heart draw is definitely a hand out there, and I feel I should have raised probably just to thin the field. So the turn is a 4, and the first player, again, leads out for $40. We go ahead and make a raise here because I want to get the heart draw out of there. So I make a raise up to 100, and the person on my left thinks momentarily before making the fold, and the original bettor makes the call. River's a 4. He pushes out a bet of $100. Really on the small side, but I don't think, based on his play earlier and things, again, he's the one that cracked my aces. I don't see this as a down bet to inspire a call. He just kind of grabbed a $100 stack and pushed it out there, and he has less than 100 behind. We go and push them all in. At this point, I'm thinking I was thinking maybe more like a Queen Jack has 2 pair, and go from there. So he makes the call. I show my 7s full, and he shows Queens full. Yeah, he limped pocket queens, and he didn't re-raise after a raise and a call. Set under set. What are you gonna do? Table change. Put it for a seat change, or I should say a table change, and we did just that. We table changed all the way over to the Wynn. Yeah, hey, sometimes when you run like that, you gotta change it up.
Okay, well now we're seated over at the Wynn, and we got the camera rolling so we can see some hands finally. It's been a whole round, so we're on the button in this hand. And under the gun +1 raises up to $9. Folds around to us, we look down at 9-7 of spades. The raiser has raised a few hands I've seen already so far, and typically the $9 to $10 range. No one has 3-bet him at this point in time. So being on the button, I want to go ahead and do that and kind of see where he might be. So we go ahead and raise it up to $30. It folds all the way back to him, and he makes the call. Flop comes out 9-8-4 rainbow, and he checks. We go ahead and make a continuation bet here of $45. We got top pair on the board, so we're probably ahead of most of his range here at this point in time. He does go ahead and make the call. Turn is a queen, and he checks once again. This time, I'm going to go ahead and check back. The queen, I think, would hit his range based on what I've seen so far in the one round here. And I'm going to just keep the pot kind of small at this point in time and see what happens over here in the river. The river's no help. It doesn't improve our hand. It's a 6. And he quickly bets out $150. As quick as he does it, I almost feel like he's trying to make it look like it's a bluff. But I feel like he's really strong here. Easy enough to fold the 9-7 here. And he shows the Jack-10, so he turned the straight. And move on to the next hand. So for this hand, we're just going to go ahead and look at it outside of the camera shot because we're assuming we're going to fold it here. And, you know, just go and muck our cards like we have it. Wait, well, what's this? I'm reaching for chips. We make a raise up to $15. We open up the pot. Big slick. What do you know? Big blind makes the call. We're actually going to see a flop here of Ace-9-4 with 2 hearts. Big blind wastes no time. Goes all in for his last one in 25. We throw a calling chip out there. The turn's a jack, the river's a deuce, and we show our hand. We're going to do our best Brad Owen here. Show the middle. Oh, fail, drop the phone.
I slipped it through. That wasn't what I wanted to do at all. How bad did that look?
And I see the bad news. He drills 2 pair on the turn with ace-jack. Okay, well, it's time for one more table change. We're down to about 200 now of our starting stack. We go ahead and get a new table. We take a little walk, stretch out the legs, kind of reset the mind a little bit. We're down 300 in this game. We're down 300 over at Red Rock. So down 600 in the night so far. So we're looking to go ahead, get this turned around, see what we can do. We take a little walk around, gather our thoughts, get back to the table. Kind of more of the same for a few hands. Starts off slowly at first. Pocket 10s. Raise it up. Everybody folds. We only win the blinds. We gotta start somewhere. Full hands there. Queen Jack. Offsuit. Win another small pot. Get a King Jack offsuit. Decide to play this. Get a small pot here. Things are looking good. So this hand here, we're in the small blind. It folds around all the way to the button, who limps. I looked at a Queen 9 of diamonds. I just complete, and the big blind checks. We're off to a flop of 10-3-7 all diamonds. We're definitely getting this night turned around. This looks really good. I check. Big blind bets $10. The button raises to 30. I just call the 30, big blind folds. Turns a 9 of clubs. I check one more time, but the button does check behind. The river's a 5 of hearts. I decided to go a little larger bet size of $60. There's only about 70 in the middle there. He folds, and we take that one down. There's one limper, middle position, makes a raise to $20. Folds over to me. We're looking at pocket aces. We're going to go ahead and raise up here. We make a raise up to $55. Folds around to the original raiser, and he folds. Night is turned into morning, and there's not a whole lot of games going on. We're actually the last table going, and there's about 6 of us left. And we decided to go ahead and call it a night. We built that 200 back up to $373. Still down for the night over the Wynn, but definitely a better outcome than being down 300. So it's time to go home.
Alright, well that'll wrap it up for this edition of Jeff Stimson's Poker Vlog. Thanks again for joining me. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons and look out for the next vlog coming to you soon. It's cold session, all the bad beats behind us. Took all those bad beats, all the coolers. It's Stuff them all inside this baseball. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Do you actually tune into this? Thanks for watching.